You've heard the podcast, now read the book. A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman. The new novel by Richard Marx. Enter the mind of a contract killer who committed one of the most inexplicable crimes of the 20th century. The inside story will shock you. The News Echo says, Marx has crafted an engrossing novel that is the literary equivalent to a jigsaw puzzle. The Westchester Journal says, Richard Marx writes with confidence and conviction. The voice is world-weary but sharp, poetic but not flowery. His prose is filled with gallows humor, literary allusions, and sentences that often read like lyrics or spoken-word confessionals. A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman. Available in hardcover, paperback, and ebook from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and wherever fine books are sold. From Oxford Press. Greetings, friends. This is Dr. Richard Marx, and welcome to A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman, a reading of my unpublished novel in chapters. I hope you'll enjoy it. Chapter 35. Then. The dream is over. I heard her scuttling around in the kitchen when I woke up. "Good morning, my love," I called out. She answered with, "Do you want coffee? Coffee or that weird New Orleans stuff?" "Weird stuff, it's all I have. You know, except for the fake coffee and the heat, I love it here." She arrived and handed me a cup of the hot brown stuff and sat on the bed. "You know, I love it here too, but I wouldn't mind making a new start. What's Youngstown like?" "Like everywhere. Okay if you have money, kinda sucks if you don't." I hated myself for continuing the lie. "Billy, I have money." I was thinking about when I would tell her everything, and the first thing would be that I hadn't gone by Billy since that dark, sad night. Sexy and rich young thang, I joked. "Well, I'm not young and I'm not rich, but I have put something aside. You know I charge good money for an hour of companionship." "Oh my God, what do I owe you?" Again with the pillow in the face, and that led to a session of lovemaking that fell closer on the scale to the sleepy, dreamy sex like early morning rather than the wild animal sex like last night. As I slid into her, I was overcome with a feeling of completeness, as if I was finally home, finally where I was meant to be. What I remembered days later was as she reached a climax, rather than the throaty exclamations, "Yes, fuck me, fuck me, fuck me, yes, yes, yes." As she neared that golden moment, it was, "Oh my God, I love you, and then, yes." As I came inside her, she started to cry. It was obvious to me that those were tears of joy, although I was a little baffled. As we lay in the afterglow, she looked deep into my eyes and said, "Something magical just happened. Tell me we're going to have a wonderful life together." "You know we will." And at that moment I decided that my hitman days were over, but unfortunately, although I didn't know it at the time, it was the last time I would make love for the rest of my miserable fucking life. Foreshadowing is a motherfucker, huh? She turned over, put her chin on my chest, and said in a mock businesswoman voice, "Hon, I've got a couple appointments in the field, then I'll head over to the main office to give my notice." I adopted her tone. "Your final day of work. I'm so proud of all you've accomplished in such a short time." "One final day, my exit interview with HR, and then—" Her voice dropped an octave, and she kneeled on the bed, throwing her legs to either side of my face. This pussy is all yours. I'm jumping in the shower. And she was off before my dick had time to react to the pussy display. She was like an erection ninja. She emerged 45 minutes later looking like the sexiest businesswoman imaginable. Hair, well, yes, the long dark hair. Perfect makeup, although without it she was even more stunning. A light blue blouse and a short black skirt with a slit up the left thigh and black high heels. She was carrying a book. It was sections from the Canzoniere and other works by Petrarch. Here, I gave you this and I added an inscription and provided a handy bookmark, she said, tossing it to me. I read her inscription. Fuck Dante. Our love will outlive eternity. To my main dude with one mighty fine cock. Love your best boy, Petrarch. Wow, that's thoughtful and classy, I joked. Don't say I didn't give you nothing, she said playfully. Don't never say I didn't give you nothing, I repeated. Triple negative. I'll be here all day trying to figure that one out. Well, don't take too long, Slowpoke. I should be back here by 6, so hopefully we can hit the 6:30 ferry. That is if you can get your pretty ass ready by then, she laughed. Enjoy your day. Mi casa es su casa. But it wouldn't hurt if you vacuumed. Yes, dear, I answered. She walked right up to me. Standing there in those heels, she was much closer to my height, and we stood almost face to face. Don't forget, you have a very important question to ask me tonight. I'd rather die than forget, I answered. That can be arranged, she jokingly threatened. Oh, do you know any good hitmen? Yes, I'm still an asshole. We kissed, and she turned and took a couple steps toward the door. Even then she gave off pure erotic energy. I stared at her amazing rear end as she turned around. Were you checking out my ass? Why lie? Yes, I was. It's magnificent. Well, some things never change, just like that little horn dog staring at my ass 16 years ago. Why don't you take a picture? It lasts longer. And she giggles. Fuck God almighty, that giggle. Wait until tonight. Seriously, at the risk of making you tired of hearing this, I love you with all my heart and soul. I love you too, wife. I could see the tears well up even from across the room. You're going to make me ruin my makeup, you silver-tongued bastard. Te amo, Gabriella, I said almost in a whisper. I love you too. And with that she was out the door. I never saw her again. Thank you for listening to A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman, copyright 2025, as read by me, the author, Dr. Richard Marks. A new chapter will be posted each week. A Murder Most Foul is produced and recorded at Batavia Studios in Jakarta. This podcast and A Murder Most Foul, The Life of a Hitman are solely works of fiction, and any similarities to persons living or dead are merely coincidental. The music used in this podcast is the second movement of Franz Schubert's Piano Trio in E-flat, Opus 100. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, please feel free to email me at drrichardmarks@gmail.com. That's drrichardmarcs@gmail.com. If you enjoy the show, please like and subscribe to the podcast and tell a friend. Thank you, and until next week, be more than you seem.